Honorable Senators, the CS for Treasury and Economic Planning, CS Honorable CP John Mbadi his rate has just arrived, and he has said that the reason is that he is engaged in a critical meeting at the State House that requires his presence and attention. And also he has not indicated when he will be appearing. He has just said, I look forward to engaging your esteemed House at a later date. That is the letter. And you know, I'm also very truthful, so I've read the content as it is. So I want to give a few senators maybe to interact with this communication. Yes, Senator Sifuna, continue and finish up.
Honorable Chair, in fact, that practice is something that you must not allow. There is no way a cabinet secretary can send a letter to you seated in the chair this morning. I am very shocked because you see, Honorable Chair, we woke up very early in the morning to come and attend this session. The question that I was supposed to put to CS Mbadi is a question that is over a year old. It has taken him less than 2 weeks to become a proper Kenya Kwanza cabinet secretary who has no respect for this house. Honorable Chair, we cannot allow this because we want to engage with these CSs. He cannot tell us, and I have heard in this house before, people saying that when Kibaki was president, if there was a matter before Parliament and another one before State House, the precedent was that you come and attend to the matters in the House first. I want to tell John Mbadi that this is unacceptable. This is unacceptable, totally unacceptable, when he has to show respect for this House. And in fact, it is worse that he was a member of Parliament. If you had just been plucked from the wilderness, like some of the other people I see, maybe we would excuse him. But he is a member of Parliament. He has even finished 2 weeks. Honorable Chair, this is unacceptable. Respect for this House, and as of yesterday, there was already communication that he had confirmed he was going to come. When these State House meetings just spring up on people like it is a surprise party. Honorable Chair, this is unacceptable. At the very minimum, he should have written yesterday and said he was not going to be able to make it. We have also other business to attend. Honorable John Mbadi must be called to order. This is not the John Mbadi I knew. I don't know what they have done to him. He used to respect Parliament.
Sorry, actually, I thought our visitors are not allowed to any. I want to give our guests just 10 minutes, then we can do housekeeping. I have directed that our visitors here, the CS for Labor and Social Protection and his team, to give this House 15 minutes to interact with this communication. Yes, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I keep telling my friend Sifuna that if he wants to become a good legislator, he must not conflate issues. The point that he's raising is something that all of us on this side agree with. I have been on this floor severally, coming down heavily against cabinet ministers when they fail to appear before this House. But when he wants to leave it on record and say that John Mbadi has become a proper Kenya Kwanza minister who has no respect for Parliament, I cannot allow him to do that, Mr. Speaker, because he's disparaging a cabinet, Mr. Speaker, and their ministers, while he's saying that there's a cabinet minister seated here waiting to respond to questions, Mr. Speaker. Is it in order, Mr. Speaker, for Senator Edwin Sifuna to claim that a proper Kenya Kwanza minister has no regard for Parliament? Can he table any fact, Mr. Speaker, to support his allegations, Mr. Speaker? Because otherwise, you reduce a very valid point to a partisan debate that is useless. We had a very valid conversation that we would have had about the presence or otherwise of ministers. But now he wants to distract us with sideshows, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Senators, let us not be emotional on this matter. Actually, this is a matter concerning the whole House. This is a bipartisan issue. So, Senator Sifuna, maybe you can give a record so that we can be able to move nicely, Honorable Senator Sifuna. No, I've asked him to clarify that bit so that...
Honorable Speaker, I don't know what other evidence the majority leader would want tabled of disrespect of this House other than the letter that has been brought to you while you are seated in the chair. And the fact that he admits that we have engaged on this issue repeatedly, it is indicative of a tradition within the Kenya Kwanza government that they disrespect this House all the time. We have dealt with this issue more than enough times, Honorable Speaker, and the majority leader cannot gag me. You cannot gag me, Honorable Cheruyot. The disrespect is in that letter that has been brought this morning. We woke up here to do this job. Where is Mbadi? You can't defend Mbadi.
Have your seat, Senator Sifuna. Senator Enoch.
You know, Mr. Speaker, there are things that you are saying that are difficult to implement. When you say people should not be emotional about this matter, it's difficult not to be emotional about what we have just witnessed. It is difficult, Mr. Speaker, to deal with a fact which is on record that a cabinet secretary expected to appear before a House of Parliament is writing to the Speaker while the session is on to say he cannot appear. And the reason given is in State House. Mr. Speaker, I will say two things and try to be not too emotional about it. One, Article 132 of the Constitution, functions of the President. The President is accountable to Parliament, the President himself, to Parliament. Article 153 of the Constitution. The Cabinet is accountable to Parliament. The Speaker, those two articles read together place the Parliament of the Republic of Kenya at such a position that when you are required to appear before either a committee of Parliament or a plenary sitting of Parliament, then everything else must stop. Mr. Speaker, this is just plain reading of the law. And you know, when now I see my brother, my very good friend, the Senator of Gericho, who is also the majority leader, getting emotional and saying that Senator Sifuna should be taught a lesson. The Speaker, I'm wondering, between Senator Sifuna and the CS for Treasury, who needs to be taught certain lessons? Mr. Speaker, just allow me to finish. Mr. Speaker, this is a serious matter. In fact, Mr. Speaker, this is so serious. And you know what? Let us test our own powers and privileges as Parliament. Let us put that to test. Mr. Speaker, you can order the Sergeant at Arms or the Inspector General of Police to present the Cabinet Secretary for Treasury here today, this morning. Mr. Speaker, you know, we cannot say that Parliament has been disregarded, and every time that we are disregarded, then we permit those people that disregard the Senate to continue doing their things and doing bad manners. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, Senator Cheruyot, you should not feel bad when Senator Sifuna says that the CS Treasury is learning bad manners.
Point of order, just a minute.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, at the sitting of the Senate Business Committee yesterday.
What is your point of order regarding what is...
no, I thought you were giving me an opportunity.
No. You are
sorry. I thought you had concluded.
You are very experienced member.
I am very sorry.
When you raise a point of order, you are standing on a point of order.
Speaker, I thought you had concluded. I thought you. Then I'll have my time if you.
Senator Wambua,
if I'm able to catch your eye.
Less than a
Speaker,
minute.
you know, we defer to Senator Halwale, honestly. Usually, I was on my feet. And you're a leader in this house. Mr. Speaker, we are saying you should actually order Masengeli to bring the Treasury CS here in this house. The Speaker. Lastly, I was saying that, you know, when Senator Sifuna says that the CS Treasury is learning bad manners and bad behavior from the Kenya Kwanza administration, that is a statement of fact. That this administration is very ill-mannered. That's what it is. This administration has refused many times to appear before this Senate. And we are saying the CS Treasury should not go and, when he was donated by ODM to go and join the government, Mr. Speaker, they send him there to go and...
Unnecessary anxiety. So
Mr. Speaker, I'm just finishing. If you bear with me 1 minute. Bear with me 1 minute, Mr. Speaker. Just bear with me 1 minute. These points of order, Mr. Speaker, they don't help.
To the point of...
But what point of order on what now? What is out of order now?
Yes, majority.
Mr. Speaker, just allow me to finish. Just allow me to finish, Mr. Speaker. I have 1 minute. Just 1 minute. Even.
Yes, majority leader.
You know, I was willing to allow these cheap shots to pass. But you have heard Senator Wambua repeatedly refer to me in his statement saying that I'm defending the indefensible. Yet, I pointed to Senator Sifuna that what better evidence do you need that Kenya Kwanza cabinet ministers respect this house, other than the fact that while he was making his complaint, there was a cabinet minister seated here. Therefore, you cannot generalize, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if you can protect me from the hecklers, I can make my point, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Senator.
But what you are doing is heckling. What better way? Mr. Speaker, it is not a statement of fact what Senator Wambua and Senator Edwin Sifuna are stating, that Kenya Kwanza ministers do not honor summons to this house. I have demonstrated that there is one in the house this morning, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, if one minister fails to appear, Mr. Speaker, if one minister fails to appear, is it a statement of fact, as Senator Wambua is stating, that Kenya Kwanza ministers do not honor summons to this house? I think this minister is... Almost every cabinet minister has come to this house more than 100 times, Mr. Speaker. You know, half the time, first of all, the minority side began by boycotting this exercise. They never used to appear. Probably that's why they don't know that ministers have been coming to this house.
Senator, let us make progress now. And my 15 minutes are over. Can you conclude in 30 seconds? You are 30 seconds, Senator Wambua.
Mr. Speaker, I was saying, and I'll conclude, that when the CS Treasury was donated by ODM to Kenya Kwanza, I listened to the Azimio leader saying that they have been donated to go and teach those people how to do things. They are not supposed to go there and learn bad manners. They are supposed to go there and teach good manners, Mr. Speaker. So it should be produced here in this house. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Joyce Korir.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I also want to raise...
Majority Leader Senator Sifuna.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Allow